The Fulton County Detention Center in Georgia is always in the news for something these days. Within the last 90 days, this is a third detention officer that got locked up with their inmates. First, it was Kawana Jenkins in March 2023. That's the one from the viral video of her licking nasty jailhouse fingers, which is already crazy, but she allowed the jailhouse inmate to record her on his illegal cell phone.
Stupid.
A sexually explicit cell phone video now has a Fulton County detention officer off the job and facing some very serious charges. The video shows 36-year-old Kawana Jenkins engaged in a lewd act, and the Fulton County Sheriff's Office says it was with an inmate.
Wednesday, we went to Jenkins' home for comment on the situation. Her mother responded through the door.
Hi, Miss Jenkins. This is Audrey Washington from Channel 2.
She's not here. No comment, please.
Okay, no comment?
I'm her mother. I don't have no comment.
Officials with the sheriff's office told us deputies initially found the contraband cell phone and subsequently the lewd video during a shakedown of the Fulton County Jail.
Then the next month, April 2023, Mrs. Wanquilla was locked up after an audit found that she was getting paid a lot of money. They didn't understand how she got the most money in OT. I'm talking OT that the sheriff said that was not even possible physically. Her salary went from $50,000 per year to her payout in 2022, totaling $130,000. In that case, Wanquilla was accused of timesheet fraud.
We came out here to the jail this afternoon, and we've really been out here all day waiting for this former detention officer to bond out. We wanted to get her side of the story, but according to jail records, at this hour, she remains behind bars. But as you mentioned, Sheriff Pat Labatt, he has been outspoken, obviously getting better pay, benefits, overtime for his men and women. And during that time, he conducted an internal audit, and it was at that point that they realized that this former detention officer had received nearly 2 times her entire salary just in overtime alone.
And now we have this one here locked up. That's the third one in 90 days. They claim she was at the YSL trial. She was supposed to be working, but instead, she was working on helping one of the YSL defendants smuggle contraband. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. A Fulton County deputy has been arrested and charged after investigators said that she tried to smuggle contraband into the jail for one of the defendants in the YSL trial surrounding criminal allegations against rapper Young Thug and all of these guys around him. Akiba Stanley was booked into jail on Friday, June 2nd, 2023 on charges of reckless conduct, violation of oath of office, conspiracy to commit a felony, and hindering apprehension or punishment of a criminal. Court documents allege that Akiba was using Instagram to communicate with YSL defendant Christian Eppinger. Akiba also visited his cell and communicated with him on an illegal cell phone. According to warrants, Akiba conspired with Christian to bring him things from a relative. 2 days before her arrest, investigators seized a laptop belonging to Christian's attorney Eric Johnson. The search warrant alleged that Christian had been spotted browsing Instagram during court proceedings using his attorney's computer. According to the affidavit, Christian was also messaging other YSL members not in custody, and that probe into the attorney's device led them to his communication with Officer Akiba.
We've got some new developments tonight involving yet another twist in this ongoing YSL RICO case. We're talking about a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy arrested earlier today and accused of trying to smuggle contraband to a defendant in the case. This deputy, Akiba Stanley, in this mugshot here, in the past hour, the Fulton County Sheriff announced she has been fired. And we have learned she was previously fired from the Atlanta Police Department when an investigation found she was unfit to serve as an officer. 11 Alive's Latasha Givens joining us now live in studio tonight. And in the past few hours, we received the arrest warrant for Stanley. So, Latasha, what is going on here?
Well, there's a lot to unpack, Jennifer. The deputy is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with Christian Eppinger by communicating with him on Instagram, visiting his cell, and trying to smuggle items to him. Now, you may recall Eppinger is accused of shooting an Atlanta police officer last year. He remains behind bars tonight, and the deputy is too. Akiba Stanley took an oath to serve and protect, but officials say her track record as an officer is now criminal. Her arrest warrants detail her having an inappropriate relationship with an inmate, visiting his cell, communicating with an inmate through Instagram, and trying to smuggle contraband to Christian Eppinger from one of his relatives. Eppinger is accused of shooting a veteran Atlanta police officer several times last year while he was being taken into custody. He's also a defendant in the YSL RICO case awaiting trial. Stanley's charges include a violation of oath of office, reckless conduct, and conspiracy to commit a felony. But this isn't the first time her conduct as an officer has been questioned. According to state records, Stanley started working for the Atlanta Police Department back in 2016, but during a 30-day period, she received several complaints. Some are outlined in this investigation obtained by 11 Alive. It states her actions during traffic stops made her unfit to be an officer. The investigation also found other officers complained about her behavior. She was terminated from APD back in 2018. Post-certification records also show Stanley was ordered to complete a 6-month ethics and professionalism course at her own expense back in 2020. She then began working at the Fulton County Sheriff's Office last October. And in a statement late this afternoon, the Fulton County Sheriff announced Stanley has in fact been fired, and he calls her actions reckless and put the lives of others in danger. Faith?
Latasha, thank you so much for bringing us that report.
Shout out to Latasha, 11 Alive, for that report and uncovering these details. How in the world did this woman get fired from the Atlanta Police Department and then ran over there to the sheriff and got hired at the detention center? There's no way this woman should have been hired somewhere else when she was already deemed unfit.
Exactly.
When she was working for APD, she got several complaints within a month from citizens and other officers. She stopped one guy to give him a ticket. He didn't agree with her and requested a manager. The manager sided with Akiba. But after she gave him the ticket, she threw his driver's license on the ground and told him to pick it up. Then in another case, a man called for help after he was physically assaulted. Akiba refused to write a police report for him, and instead, she placed him in handcuffs and in her car. After some time, she realized it was ridiculous. She released him, but then he called 911 to complain about her, and that's when she handcuffed him again and said that he was being arrested for abuse of 911. She's done a lot of stuff, and the details are in these reports and documents. And then now she's out here having some sort of relationship with a YSL member. Not sure if she was doing it for money or for some sick reason she was into this guy and wanted to look out for him. We're talking about a man that's definitely on his way to the penitentiary. Even if he somehow escaped those RICO charges, he will still be convicted of attacking that officer when he was getting arrested. He shot the officer 6 times. And by the way, sending prayers to Officer David Rogers, who is still recovering from that incident. As for Akiba, she's in big trouble. The judge was not playing with her at all. He set her bond at $1 million. $1 million. I just don't understand why this woman will risk her freedom for this guy who's going to be in prison for the next couple of decades. She traded her Northeast Atlanta luxury apartment for that disgusting Fulton County jail cell, and all I can say is, Akiba, you earned it. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Shout out to Jerome, Zolly Pop Culture, and Earl. I appreciate all of you for your support. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.